Hello Flosstube, my name is Mariam, my pronouns are she, her. You may know me as Marroomycrafts on Instagram or MarroomyDesigns on Gumroad. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is a channel about cross stitch. Sometimes I share other crafts with you as well, but mainly I will talk about all the projects that I take on and stitch, and also my design journey as well, because I do design cross stitch patterns as well. So as I said, welcome. This is episode number 12. We have a lot to talk about, mainly investments. So thank you for all of you who participated in my giveaway last time. I really appreciated every single one of you. I was really excited to celebrate this milestone of hitting 1,000 subscribers with you all. I've already commented under your comments. If you have one, please make sure that if I mention that you have one, that you fill out the Happy Mail form that is in the description. I will actually add the Happy Mail form to this video as well, so you can find it beneath. Make sure that you fill it out, and that will be my way of moving forward, my way of collecting information in regard to winners if I do any giveaways. All right, so other than that, let's talk about what's happening. So first I'm going to talk about my finishes. I actually have 4 finishes. I have 4 finishes in the month of March. 2 I cannot share. One of the 2 I can actually give you a little bit of a sneak peek and a little bit of information, but the other one I can't say anything about. It's something that's coming this year later on. And then I have 2 other finishes that I can share with you. One is my own pattern. The other one is a Stitchery's pattern that I'm going to share with you. And then I'm going to talk about whips and plans, which I have a lot of. And then we're going to talk about stitchy kindness, and then a lot of investment. And we're going to end this episode with a recommendation as well. Alright, so let's get this started because we have a lot to cover. Alright, we're going to start with finishes. First, I'm going to show you finishes that I actually can share. So first one is my own design. This is called Song of Noru. So if you watch the episode, the special episode that I recorded for this release of this design and the sal that goes with it, at the time I haven't had the time to stitch it, but I did. This is 20 count fortnight fabric in Exceptional, and I use a Stitchy Box flower silk in poinsettia. It's actually one of the items that is included in one of my investments, so you're gonna see it later on. So as you see, again, this is a pattern designed for Nowruz, which is spring equinox and celebration of rebirth, renewal, coming of a new season, and is a marker for Persian New Year. So has a lot of meanings in it. And on top, you can see, I don't know how visible it is. It says, "Believe in a spring, start again, bloom," which is part of a verse, a poem by Maulana, or you might know him as Rumi, which is the most famous Persian poet. And yeah, it says 2023. Right, so I have been following a lot of you on Instagram, and you've been sharing your progress on this pattern. It's a quick stitch. For me, it took 2 days to finish, and I know a lot of you have done the same and has been a quick finish for you. You still have time. The sale goes officially until April 2nd. However, this is a start along, so you have time indefinitely. You can take as long as you want. You can start whenever. Just make sure you use the hashtag Song of Noru Sal, and so I can follow you along and see how you do. But actually, I really enjoy watching everyone's choices of fabric and thread. Some of you have come up with really creative ideas, have stitched different parts of the motif in different colors, and they're really beautiful. But yeah, it can be a stitch in monogram in one thread or any other combination of threads. Alright, so that was the first finish. I mean, not first finish, technically it was the third finish. And then this is my most recent finish. This is Tetris by Jordan Nassar, who has who's of Palestinian descent. This was chosen my choice for both Wipgo last not last month, we're still in March, choice of Wipgo for March, and also for Stitch Asia. So yeah, so Asia is a great continent, had tons of different countries in it. Palestine is in Asia, so yep. I really like this design. It's a traditional Tetris design, which is a Palestinian cross stitch style of stitching. Yeah, so I recently just finished that, and this is on 18 count Aida that I overdyed on this like really stiff Aida that I will never ever use again. I actually threw away whatever was left of it, and I used a couple of like mystery threads that I had in my stash. So this is one of the other two finishes. I can talk about it. I can show you tiny little sneak peek, but then you have to wait until middle of April to actually have your hands on it and have the reveal. Alright, I'm gonna have a dedicated video recorded for this, introducing this pattern later on in at the beginning of April. I'm going to record it and I'm going to release it close to the time of release of the pattern. So I'm not sure if you have heard, but there is a new collective. I know Christy reached out to me from Pixie. She reached out to me and asked if I'm interested in joining a group of designers who are mostly up and coming and all mostly small designers that we are just trying to figure our way in this whole world of cross stitch business. So we started small, and at the time I thought, okay, that will be great. We're gonna have like 10-20 people in this group, and it will be great, small tight-knit group that we're going to collaborate with, talk with, and like share ideas. So that's what was my intention in joining. But then we grow so fast, and now I think at this moment we're over 65 people part of that group. We have well-known names, and we have really small designers who just started, maybe with 1 or 2 designs published. So it's like a huge range now, but what is important is we are all individuals who really are dedicated to the community first aspect of cross stitch and designing. So we want to make sure that we are there for each other, we answer each other's questions, we help each other out, we collaborate, we brainstorm, we come up with different ideas together. So it's a really lively community. We are on Discord, and this is my first time on Discord. It's a lot. It can be overwhelming. You can imagine there are a lot of people having so many different conversations and on different topics, so it can get overwhelming at times, but it's really good. It has been really good. It has, you know, made all those creative juices flow, and I have like 1,000,001 ideas about different designs. Did not mention the name. So it's Stitchers collective, the Stitchers Collective. We are on Instagram under the same name. We have a web page that you can go and see all the list of people who are participating in the upcoming collaboration. Longest story long, I'm talking about the first collaboration. So first collaboration is a charity collaboration that's coming up for Earth Day, and all the information, I leave the website's information down below, so you can go there. You can see the list of designers who are participating in this collaboration, which is now over 20 people. So you when you donate, you're gonna receive, you can get access to all those patterns that comes with this collab. The release date is on the 14th. We're hoping to have a stitch along with all the people who are participating and purchasing, getting access to our designs through a donation. And this is my contribution. So it's my model of stitch. I sat down, designed the pattern, and then I knew that it wasn't necessary to make a model, but I really wanted to stitch it myself, so I made it here. So I'm going to show you just a tiny bit of it so you can see the color palette. Basically it's monochrome, just similar to a lot of my other designs. Okay, so I'm going to show you this much. So this is the bottom half, like not half, like bottom third of it. So it's long and it's skinny, has borders on the sides, and this is the bottom of it. Okay, and this is 18 count. I think is natural or raw Ada, and then I used 12 weight Sulky in Forever Green. Is one of my favorite greens. Yep. Yeah, to see the rest of it you have to wait. Okay, so those are my finishes. Now let's talk about whips. I have 2 whips to show you. First, I insert the photo here. This is Modern Fork Embroidery, Fruits of Plenty. This was a stitch along for year of 2021. I actually started this in 2022. This was my new year, new start project. It's my oldest whip at this point, and I really want to finish it this year. So I'm actually close. So I finished page 9 right there. So I think it's, I mean, I love it myself. I think it looks amazing, right? I'm super happy with my color choice. So this is 20 count Ada in charcoal. I'm using Sulky 12 weight in 2 different colors. The red is Christmas red, which is a solid color, and then the blendable, which is blue, purple, pink blendable here, is jewel tone. Yeah, so now I have my initials completed, and then now I'll have 1 more row to finish. 3 pages left. Next is a start from last night, and I'm really close to finishing it. I actually am planning on tonight, when after I finish editing this video, when I'm waiting for it to upload, I'm planning on finishing this. So it's the Pixie Pixel Cross Stitch Stronger Together freebie. It's a freebie that you can access through her Facebook page. So you can join the Facebook page. She has a few freebies on there, and this is one of them. March is Women's History Month as well, so I wanted to stitch this in honor of Women's History. And here where I am. So this is 18 count Ada in Rue Green, and I'm using threads from my stash. Their eyes look creepy as hell. I need to fill that up. So as you see, I'm almost done. Her hair is left. I have to do their eyes. There was a headband here, a little bit of like hair accessories that I have to fill in, and then a little bit of backstitch, but majority of it is done. So yeah, so stronger together. Now I'm going to talk about plans. So I have a few days left in this month. So I wanted to start something, and I want to make sure that I work on another project and see if I can get another page finish. I think it's doable because pages are small. Alright, let me first start with this one. Okay, let me start with this one. So this is the Natural World Sal by Pixie XStitch. This is released for month of March. This is a mystery sal, and this is what we have so far. So if you put all of it together, this is what we have, right? I kept up January and February, and I do need to add. So this is where I am. I have January and February. I need to add March right there. This is 18 count light coffee, and I'm using Sulky blendable in olive tree. Alright, so this is small. The pages are super small. So I'm thinking it's actually pretty doable. I think I can just add this in like stitch this in a couple days. Next is out of this book that I bought a few months ago for one specific pattern. There are other patterns in here as well that I'd like to stitch, but one pattern that I was interested in, and this is because of EJ from Sunshine is Stitchers, Mother Moon. Yes. So I made a copy of the pages of the book because I don't want to have the book and mark it and use that. So I made a working copy, and I made a copy of the full pattern as well, just full mock finish as well, so you can see how she will look like. So I'm all kitted up and ready to go. I have my fabric is 18 count Ada Mystic fabric in Wisteria. It's really light purple, really beautiful fabric. Let me show you the threads. So these are the DMC. Majority of them are called for DMC. I had to substitute a couple of them. So, yep. Those are all the DMCs. You can see how. So that's the floss dust. Let's see. And I'm not planning on using beads. This pattern has two different kinds of beads. Instead, I'm actually going to use Petite Treasure braid. So I'm going to use these two, instead of beads. This is coming across as silver. This is not silver. It's actually purple. Purple, pink, and silver. And this one is more like pearl kind of situation. So it has a pink and green shift. Also have a couple of cry necks and then an etoile. This is in place of one of the cry necks. I needed to use cry neck in silver and I could not find it, and you know, I had a toile in my stash, so I was like, I'm gonna replace it with this. I'm gonna stitch it with this. So this is in blanc. I'm gonna try it first, but I'm probably gonna change this to a silver, a gray etoile instead, which has more of a silver tone instead of the blanc. So yeah, I'm planning on starting this month, and this will replace Tetris, because now that I have finished Tetris and it's out of my rotation, it's not a whip anymore. Now I can replace it with a new pattern. Next is the Wipgo for month of April. So the numbers were called, first of all, let me tell you about what Wipgo is. So if you don't know, Wipgo is brainchild of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I'm gonna leave her the link to her channel below. She has a video on explaining what Wipgo is. Essentially, it's a bingo. You know, there is like an empty chart that you can actually get from her Facebook page, and you can fill it with your projects. There are different ways of doing it. You can like name a project that you want to work on, or give yourself prompt for those numbers, and then each month she will call 2 numbers, and then you basically look at the list that you have and then work on your goals that you set for yourself. So it's something that you set for yourself, so you have control over it. You can change it. It's your Wipgo. You can use whatever you want. You can use one project and fill all of the different boxes with that one project, and each month give yourself a different number of stitches or hours of stitching as a prompt. Or you can use 20, there are 25 numbers. You can fill all 25 with 25 projects. It's up to you. I am giving myself prompt this year. Last year I actually put in projects, and I was relatively successful. I kept up with it until October, and then everything went out the window because I wanted to work on different things. But this year I'm giving myself prompts instead, so it's more flexible. I can interpret it in different ways, and usually for each prompt I have more than one option, so which is helpful because it gives me options, right? So for this month, for month of April, numbers that were called were 5 and 17. Number 5 for me is, the prompt was a monochrome project. I had 3 different monochrome projects, and the one that I'm planning on working on this for month of April is Spirits of the Dead, but by Modern Fork Embroidery. I really like this pattern. So my fabric choice is a little radical. It's a little different. So let me open it. Okay. So this is where I am. This is 18 count fabric flare in Christmas red damask. And I am using a Sulky blendable in parchment to stitch it. So I have finished page 1. I started on page 2. I mean, this is technically page 3 because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, but this was heavy stitching, so I finished this, and instead of going that way, I went down. So now I have to stitch 6 days on this project. My hope is for me to be able to finish this page 3, and then start on this page 2, right there. Yep. The other number that was called was 17. For me, was a pattern with a human figure on it. So I had many options, and the one that I chose is Tom's Foolery from Hands Across the Sea. This is a reproduction, and it has like several like humanoid figures there. And this is one of the craziest samplers I have ever seen in terms of like reproduction, not modern design. And it's so happy and has so many colors, and I had made so little progress on it. I basically just stitched on it for I think 3 or 4 days total last year. You know, I started last year and I only stitched on it I think 3 or 4 days. Yeah. This is 20 count blue cashmere or cashmere blue, and I'm using a Sulky conversion that I made myself. Colors are not exact same, but they're close. So yeah, that's all I have a stitch on. Like just a little bit of border and a couple of half motifs. That's pathetic. So I'm hoping to, again, I have to stitch 6 days on it for Wipgo, and I'm hoping to get like make good progress on this page. Fingers crossed, even finishing this first page. So we'll see. There are a lot of like little motifs there. So other than all of those plans, the other plan that I have is starting on the big design for this year. I'm hoping to design a large pattern so I can break it down into sections and have it to be released as a SAL. We'll see how that goes. First, I do need to actually, I have the idea, but I do need to actually design it. So we'll see. All right, so that's all about planning. Now, other things. Let's talk about a Stitchy kindness. I had two different, I received 2 different packages from 2 different kind Stitchy friends. First, I'm part of the snail mail club of these 20 stitches. If you comment on their videos, and if you have filled up their form for snail mail club, they randomly pick people and they send something to them. So I was picked last time, and I received their parcel. So there was a card in it, and there's a note. That's their signature. And then there was a wish bracelet in it. And let me open it so you can see the whole glory. Ta-da! Look at this. Do you see all the colors? The red, orange, yellow, purple, pink, even a little bit of green on this side, like a splash of blue. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. I think this is 18 count. It looks like 18 count. So yeah, and this is like a huge piece. Yep. So they were really kind and sent me this. they know me well because I'm all about colors. This is right up my alley. I mean, seriously, and made me super happy. I'm super excited to figure out what to stitch on it. It should be a special project. I have a few ideas in mind, but I do need to floss test and see if it actually works. So yeah, thank you, Dee. It's like awesome. Second, so as I mentioned earlier, as part of the collective, we do have different discussions, and we were talking about silk, and I'm just getting into silk, and you will see my investment. I have purchased different kind. I'm trying different types, and I have been really interested in trying almond M&Ms like Ymir silk. And I was mentioning that. I mentioned that yeah, that's one of the brands that I want to try, and it's on my list. I haven't yet. And Michelle Bendy, she's one of the people who is part of the collective, and she jumped in and said, well, I have a hank and I can send you some. Do you like some? And I said, oh yeah, can you send me a little bit? I can try it. In my mind, I said, okay, so she's gonna give me like a little bit of the, leftover thread, just enough for me to try. That was the goal. That's what I was expecting. I was not expecting this. So that's a lot of silk. That's a whole lot of silk. And it's on this beautiful, is it like floss drop or floss keeper or floss holder, and that she got from a Stitchy Box. So kind. So this is called, let me see, Cherry Blossom, which is really timely. This is a spring. It's time for cherry blossoms. Just look at the colors. It's so beautiful. And a whole lot of silk. And I definitely can stitch a good project in this. So yeah. So thank you, Michelle. I was not expecting this. I mean, so generous. And she reused one of the bags that she received something in it, and I'm gonna use it again because it's pretty. So yeah. So those were my packages, my Stitch Kindness. So now I'm gonna talk about investments, and I have a lot of investments. So this is a judgment-free zone, right? So don't judge me. Don't judge me. You'll see. It's a lot. Yeah. Let's just start with patterns. So from Shaded Stitchery, Nori released this closely kept number 2. I liked closely kept number 1, but I haven't purchased it yet, but it's on my list. This is closely kept number 2. Just look at that beautiful design, and she provided 2 different ways to stitch it. This is in negative, and this is stitching the actual design itself. So, yep. Such a great pattern. And actually it's really small. It's 67 by 75, so this is small. Next is AncientSageDesigns. This is Queen Zenobia's Garden. This is based on ancient Roman tile that Shazida recharted and made into this pattern. Next, my order from Abby Top Notch Stitcher Shop came. I just picked those patterns that I really liked, with the knowledge that the rest will be there. If I ever decide to buy any other one, I still can. One thing that I made sure that I buy was this XStitch the Rainbow collab, a silk pack that was available. It's from Treenway silk. The colors are so beautiful. Again, silk. I'm trying silk. So with that silk comes the patterns. So I picked up two. I will stitch more if I end up with enough leftover silk, but I just wanted to pick up the Pixie cross stitch pattern. Be my sweetie. And I chose this, the Sweet Wing Studio. It's always time for tea. Then I picked Dirty Annie's Cat Kiss because cats. I mean, look at that cute angry face. I love it. And then a classic. So Janet Douglas Vintage Grapes. So this is a version with alphabet. This is a version with the extra border. I will probably stitch this version, not that. And this is part of a series. She has vintage stars, vintage animals, vintage birds, vintage flowers, number 1 and 2, and then with vintage acorns. This is grapes. Next, from Fabric Flair, I bought elderberry in 18 count. This was for one of my designs. To stitch the model. Next, I ordered Stitchy Box's Choose Your Adventure pack. You were able to choose one silk and then have them give you other colors that goes with that one. So this is the one that I chose as the inspiration. This is Hikate's Hounds. It's bold, that's why I chose it, and has reds. Yep. So this is the collection that was sent. Let me put all of them together. And one of them is the one that I actually used for Song of No Rose. So yeah, so this is all of them together. So this is Bat Orchid. This one is Jasmine. This is Deep Woods. This is really pretty. And Poinsettia. That's the one that I stitched Song of No Rose in. And it came with extra goodie, and mine was Delicate Beads in Opaque Olive. So I don't use beads. I don't know what to do with it. I'm probably gonna just use it to replace maybe some French knots, right? I don't know. Next, from Etsy, I was looking for a design that I have coming up. I was looking for red Ada in higher counts, and all I found was, and I have it here, I'm going to show you in a minute, was that red, like Christmas red, like super in your face, strong red. That is beautiful for a specific kind of pattern, and has its own place, but it would not go for what I had in mind and what I wanted to do. So I was still like searching and searching. I ended up actually using the elderberry one, so that's the one that I used. But I purchased other things as well. So then I found this store on Etsy, NeedleworkwithJim. And yeah, you see. So it started with this. This is 18 count Ada in deep magenta. And these are all in fat quarters. So this is another great option. I received this after this, and I already started stitching my model on this, and I actually liked it. So this is deep magenta. I know it's not red, but yeah. And then this, and then I bought other things too. So this one is Damask Ada, and I never stitched on Damask Ada, and I didn't know what it was, so I thought I'll give it a shot and just try it. This is Wipgo, and the color is Dawn Gray. So if you look at it, it has a sheen, right? It has a sheen, and it says it's like in description, it says it's softer than regular Ada. I'm touching it and it looks synthetic. It doesn't feel like cotton. Like my other Adas, this is cotton, and you can tell. This is not. I don't think this is. So I don't know how I feel about this, because I like my cotton Ada. I'm gonna give it a shot and see how it goes, but yeah, just wanted to try something different. So along the same line, I found these fabrics. Let me show you the whole thing. So these fabrics, and it's a Zwagard, and this is not Ada, it's Tenerife, and is 18 count. It looks like linen. Can you see? So it has that uneven quality that linen does. It has like these knobs and stuff in it. In the description, it describes it as an entry to linen. It stitches up like Ada, but it looks like linen basically. So you can stitch one-on-one on it, just like Ada, and so it's simple and easy to stitch on because of that. But the look of the fabric, it looks like a linen. So this one was country blue, and these are all, this is 18 by 35, so this is larger than regular fat quarter. This one is seafoam green. This one is dusty rose. And this one is wine. So yeah, I was really curious to see what this is. So if any of you have stitched on this fabric or know about it, comment below. Give me some tips. Next, I have order from Silks for You. This is the card is on Etsy. It's a company in Australia, so the shipping is expensive compared to shipping from US. However, because of the silk's prices, it's worth it. Actually, their silk is super affordable. And she has what she calls bits bag. So it's like a random bags of 10 skein of silk. She tries not to give you repeat. And I feel like she actually has gone with a theme, so the colors go together. So I'm trying to get it together so I can show you the whole thing. So I got 2 bags, so 20 skeins total. Oh my god, they drop. All right, let's see. Do you see? Like they go together. So all these greens, some of them have purple. This one is the outlaw, but if you don't look at that, the rest go really well together. Even this, you can put it with this one. Ooh. So this is the first bag, and they're super soft. And this is, oops. This is the second one. Let me put them all together. Yep. Then I place an order with 123Stitch. I have this 18 count opalescent raw linen Ada. Originally I bought this for the Nowruz pattern, but I ended up using a different fabric. So beautiful. Then picture this plus in what's called earthen. This is so washed out. Doesn't give you, this comes across as like, let's see, can I make it happen? It's more pink. It's really pink. But it's super washed out here, so I don't know. Then this is the red I was talking about. That's the Christmas red. So I will end up like stitching something on it, but it's not something, it wasn't a good choice for what I wanted to do. Then I bought fiber on a whim from 123Stitch. This one is blueberry. This one is dusk. And you know the drill. The color is washed out. This is dusk. This is muted Sedona. And these are all in 20 count. All the fiber on a whim is in 20 count. This is more like it. This is peony. Yeah, if I, it looks like if I hold it back, it looks more like what it is. Interesting. Okay. So that was my 123Stitch. Lastly, I signed up for Fabric of the Month with Bestitchme. I get 20 count Ada each month in the color option. the color club. And this was February's. I haven't received March yet. This is Sorbet. So beautiful. And lastly, I have been reaching out to a couple of companies that I use a lot of product from, just to see if they offer designer packs or designer products. Sulky, their partnership program is a little complicated, and I asked, one of the things that I reached out to say was that I really like Sulky, and I use Sulky in majority of my designs and my personal stitching, and but I have a few issues. Main one is that the range is not as good as DMC, especially when it comes to skin tone. The person responded and was receptive, and they said that they're gonna, again, I don't know how true that is, but they said they're gonna have that transfer the information transfer to the team, and then they informed me that they are expanding on the blendable options, and they're adding 3 more colors. I'm like, fantastic. I love blendable because I do design monochrome patterns majority of the time, and having that variegation that's what I really enjoy. So they sent me their cotton thread like guidebook that has a real thread. So this is great for me to design from. So it has both the solids and their blendables. So yeah, so now I can use this as a reference when I'm designing, just to see what works for me. So yeah, that is it. So whew, that was a long one. We covered a lot of investments. I invested a lot in myself in the month of March. All right, so this got too long, so let's do the recommendation and wrap it up. So I have one recommendation this time. I'm gonna leave the rest because, you know, this is already too long. Julie in the Stitches. So she shouted me out in her last Flosstube. So it popped up on my screen as a recommendation, as a notification. I go to her channel, I watch her video, and I see her. She's great. She's great. She works on so many different projects. She's really diverse in terms of her stitching. She's really informed. She's really bright. She's really engaging. All of that. And then I look at her channel. I see she has like few videos. Like, this is not the first video that she uploaded, but she only has 92 subscribers. That's it. I'm like, how is this possible? How are you like only having like, why? Like, it doesn't really make sense at all. It doesn't add up. Like, the level of professionalism, what she shares, how engaging she is, doesn't match at all. So I shouted out her channel on my Instagram, and I think it's just fair for me to share her channel with you as well on my Flosstube, in case you don't follow me on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, from me to you, Julie is fantastic. I link her channel down below. Go follow her. You're not going to be disappointed. Be like me. I watched her most recent video and then went back and started from the beginning, and I watched the whole thing. And she doesn't have a lot of videos out, but it's enough for you to binge. Like, it's a good stitchy session binge, like a long stitchy session binge. So do that. Yeah. Other than that, that's it. Yeah, so you're gonna see another video coming in around mid-April, just to introduce my design, the one that I showed you the sneak peek. So I'm gonna actually have a full reveal and show you the design and talk about it and all the elements and symbolism. You know how it is usually. And also, hopefully by the end of April, I will have another design released. Other than that, I hope you enjoy your time stitching, as little or as much as it is. Alright, so take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and have a good stitchy time. Bye.